Welcome back to the Exporting Made Easy series. It's a gloomy day in October and I'm at the brokerage facility in the East Midlands to join the team on their annual Halloween fundraiser for their local charity Revive. Despite the spooky decorations inside and the gloomy weather out here, customs and brokerage does not need to be frightening. Let's chat with the team while they will treat us to their top tricks to effortless exporting so that you can avoid those unnecessary customs delays. And I do warn you in advance, there may be some more Halloween puns thrown in there. So let me show you around. Hi Sue, would you like to tell us how long you've been at UPS?
I've been at UPS 21 years, firstly with imports, became a team leader on imports, now I'm a team leader on exports.
Over your 21 years as being a part of brokerage, has there been much change?
There's been massive changes. Firstly, we had Brexit, then we had CDS, firstly on import, and then earlier this year on export.
But what is CDS?
It's the new customs chief system. And it's where we do all our custom declarations.
Okay, so it's not a UPS
It's
system?
not a UPS system, no. We transmit all our data to CDS and it is customs then that clear the goods.
Right.
So we are acting on behalf of the customer to make their customs declarations.
Okay, so transmitting the information to customs for the customer. Okay.
Our job role is to contact the customer if there are any issues.
Okay.
And the issues that we find on a daily basis amount to delays, which means that the customer's not happy. Mm-hmm. So by the time we're dealing with the shipment, we've already had 1 day delay.
Okay.
So understandably, clients can be upset that they were expecting their goods to have already left and to be ready to be delivered in another country. But when there's vital information missing, we need to contact the customer to make sure that that's correct. Because if we don't clear it correctly, customs then hold it. It can be then in a queue to clear.
So it will take even longer to resolve?
Which will take longer.
Okay. On a typical day-to-day basis, when you're having to resolve issues for customers, what is it that you're seeing most common that's causing delays?
I think one of the most common is incomplete invoices.
The way it works is everything leaving the UK, unless it's a document-only shipment, needs to provide an invoice. Okay. It's not sort of...
It's for information.
Yeah, it's information-based, so we're not trying to charge you on exports.
Okay.
What we're trying to establish is what's going out, what value.
You need to have exactly what is being sent and the value of the items. This is required for customs clearance.
As much detail as you can with quantity, description and value for each one. For example, how often have you seen it where it says clothing, shoes on the same line? But then it's a problem then because you go, well, okay, we know there's shoes in there, but we don't know what the rest of the items are. So we don't know how to split that up, and we don't know how many of each item there is. And unfortunately for customs clearance, you need to be specific like that to make sure that we can clear things properly for you.
So when I were to create a shipment, how would I provide UPS with that commercial invoice?
Yeah, so when you're going through that process, there should be a drop down that says guide. Okay. And it will take you through how to create a commercial invoice, things that you need to provide.
Descriptions are key.
Yeah.
Rather than part numbers.
As long as you put in layman's terms what the object is, in as simply as you can put it. Don't put part numbers and things like that in because that really could be anything. Especially for those who are private shippers sending gifts, because we are heading into Halloween, but Christmas is around the corner. Yeah. Sorry, folks. And a lot of us are going to be sending presents, so naturally you're not going to want to delete that.
You'll need to provide a commercial invoice if it's a gift. Say if I went to a Christmas market and bought something, I don't have a receipt or an invoice, how would I then provide that? Do I just have to list what it's had even though it's not a sale?
If you have bought something and you're sending it as a gift, as long as there is a value on it, make sure that it's as descriptive as you can, as straightforward as you can. But most importantly, make sure to mention that the reason for export is that you're sending it as a gift.
One of the other things is the EORI numbers, and people seem to be under the impression it's something to do with tax, and it's not. It's just purely for government to monitor the number of shipments that leave the UK.
So it's an ID in more of that sense. It's an identification.
Yeah.
The only instances where you wouldn't need to do that is if you were, again, sending personal items, gifts, things like that. Anything where it was a private individual to a private individual. In those cases, you would simply put GBPR to make it clear that you were not sending this as a business transaction.
So when I complete my commercial invoice, I would put GBPR if I was a private individual?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a new stipulation with customs that we cannot make a declaration to them now without the weight for that item. So everything has to have a weight in grams. For jewellery, we have to have weights in grams. It's the same with wood items. We have to know what types of wood we're dealing with because there are certain criteria that require a CITES. So certain woods are restricted.
Okay.
And we need paper declarations. If that's not given to us at the time of shipping, we have no choice but to hold it because we have to be compliant with UK customs.
Okay, so it's customs that's...
It's not UPS.
Yeah, okay.
It is not UPS. We don't want to hold your package. We're not a storage facility. We want to deliver it.
Yeah.
That is our job, to make that declaration and get your goods moving.
But you have to follow.
But we have to be compliant.
Not all companies do specific procedures.
Okay.
So it's raising awareness with the customer that if they've done it under a special procedure, they need to have at least the movement reference number that customs give them to show, so that we can put it on the export documents to show that it has come in here temporarily, now it's going back out again, so that they can avoid any additional charges.
Okay.
They can claim VAT back on it and what have you.
So where would they find a movement reference number?
That will be supplied by the carrier.
When it's imported into the country?
Yeah.
Okay.
On when the carrier does the procedure, they get a copy of what we call a sub copy 3, which is the customs declaration. It's a paper copy of the customs declaration, which will show the procedure, the movement reference number, what the goods were, shipper and receiver. All that information that customs receive is then transmitted onto a paper document for their records, so that if customs come in to audit, they can say, well, this was imported, we've now re-exported it.
So it's a proof that it did come into the country and is going back out?
Yeah.
Okay. And so typically people don't include that on the information to UPS?
No, not very often.
Where should they include it?
The additional comments section, if they can put it in the additional comments.
Yeah, so as long as it's somewhere on the commercial invoice, then it just signals the broker in the direction that it is. Okay. And when you mentioned special procedures, can you give me some examples for people who aren't familiar?
There's the inward processing.
Okay, so what's that exactly?
That would be goods coming in for a process to be completed on.
Okay.
So whether it be calibration,
Okay.
polishing, repair,
Okay.
those sorts of
So
procedures.
some sort of service is happening on the
Yeah.
item.
With your repair goods, we have to have the right documentation in place. We need to know if you've repaired the goods. Are you sending them out for repair? If you've just got repair on the invoice, unfortunately we have to hold it to find out which way it's going, because they're two different procedures.
Right.
And not a lot of customers are aware of that.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got a different procedure for you repairing the shipment to you sending the shipment out, and it's going to cost you more money if we don't get it right, we want to get that right for you.
So that would be why you typically hold and try and contact the shipper.
Correct.
Or you can get relief goods, which are goods returning back into the UK.
Right, so if they're a return.
Yeah, you've got warehouse shipments they'll come from a bonded warehouse, and we've got to have their specific warehouse number. If we don't have that, whether it be on file or somewhere on the invoice, that can cause a delay.
So my name's Siobhan Brampton and I am the brokerage customs clearance supervisor.
Siobhan, I've just spoken to your team on customs clearance to talk about what they see typically from exporters in the UK in terms of delays because of information that has not been provided to UPS correctly or in the way that it should to satisfy customs. If you were to scream out one key message to exporters from the UK, what would it be?
The most important bit of information we need is contact details. That's not just for our senders, that's for importers as well. If we are missing any kind of information, which my colleagues had spoken about throughout, we need to get in contact with you to provide that. So we need to make sure we've got email addresses, phone numbers, names, everything to make it clear who we should be contacting if there's any information missing. And like I say, on import side as well, because imports into many different countries have many different rules and regulations. So we need to make sure that they've got contact details as well.
Okay. How would that communication from your team look like? So if I was exporting and I've forgotten to provide one of the many things that your team has mentioned previously, what can I expect that communication to look like from UPS?
So we've just released a new system, U6, which is UPS's information exchange system. And this is going to look like a new notification, so you can get it via email or via SMS. Mm-hmm. So we just want to make you aware that we will start using this system, and you need to be checking your spam folders, because we want to make sure that if your email settings are set to look for these type of emails and think it's spam and you don't see it, you will miss our contacts. Okay. So please, as we're starting with this system, keep an eye on the spam folder and maybe adjust your settings if that's what's happening, and then we'll be able to get in touch with you. And then once you've got the notification, you will be asked to verify yourself. So we will send you a code to the email address that we'd already contacted, which will then get you into the online portal.
Okay. So I shouldn't need to put any of my contact details into any links. If that is to happen, that's likely to be some scam and not from UPS.
Yes.
If UPS sends that link, you click it, and then I should receive a code without having to put any further information in.
Yes, exactly. And then once you've done that, you'll be in and you'll be able to see what information we're requesting.
Okay. And just upload it from there.
Yes, so you can upload documents, you can upload text, you can see what documents we've already got on file, everything will be there and visible to you.
Okay, brilliant. What would happen if I was not very good on keeping on top of my mailbox, I missed those notifications? Is there any other way that UPS would try to contact me?
Yes, so we won't just send these notifications and that's it. We'll find alternative methods. We'll pick up the phone, we'll check the numbers we've got, we'll send an email if we need to, but our main source of communication will be U6, but we will use alternative methods to make sure that we're getting through to you.
Okay, brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those insights and that key message to all of the exporters in the UK.
Thank you.
watching today's Exporting Made Easy episode. This episode was not supposed to spook you. As long as you provide us with all of the information required to export from the UK, there will be no frights. So please, at the very least, provide your contact details in the form of your telephone number and email address. So if there are any issues or you do need additional support, the team here at UPS Brokerage can contact you to resolve and get your shipment on its way as quickly as possible. The information that was referred to in this series in the terms of guides and templates will be on the links below.
Well, that is all from us at Export Brokerage. So until next time, happy Halloween.